In today's Britain, the royal family serves as a sort of public television network. Everyone is aware of the recent drama, but Princess Anne really went far this time. Everyone knows that Princess Anne despises the existing ruling class, so when everyone was thinking their troubles couldn't get much worse, she dropped another bombshell: Queen Elizabeth II's hidden will. Why did everyone go completely bonkers? One of Queen Elizabeth's closest trustees was Princess Anne, and the Queen Mother frequently turned to her for friendship and support. Could you tell me what was in the will that utterly altered the royal family's standing? To sum up, it contained detailed instructions for a single member of the royal family. Who was this individual, and what did they accomplish for the Queen that she would remember them long after she passed away? We will discover. The identity of the perpetrator will be revealed promptly. We will not prolong the matter unduly. It was Princess Catherine, the beloved by all. At this point, you may be asking why Catherine's name was listed in the will. Was it for a good reason, or was the Queen Mother disappointed? Everyone knows that Princess Catherine has been loved by everyone around her ever since she married Prince William and became a member of the royal family. Because of her exceptional performance, King Charles III officially recognized Prince William and her as Prince and Princess of Wales. The point is that she has been universally recognized and accepted by the public as Princess Diana's sole heir. So, as she stood by the sidelines, what was Queen Elizabeth thinking about all this? We should probably start by saying that someone was really enraged by this whole situation before we reveal what was actually in that will. Queen Camilla, the unfortunate heir to the throne, is, shockingly enough, that individual. As we've discussed in earlier videos, the Queen has a personal grudge against the younger royals. Thus, whenever someone attempts to deflect attention away from her, she becomes irate. When Princess Anne announced this will at Balmoral, several members of the royal family, particularly the more senior members, were displeased. Since there is an equal likelihood of compliments and insults directed at Catherine in that will, you may be asking if Camilla is siding with Catherine or if she is jealous. Rest assured, we will inform you of that. Stay tuned until the very end, as the discovery is sure to surprise you. The royal family's primary complaint with the will was that Anne was chosen to deliver it. The position may have been filled by any number of other competent monarchs. Okay, I'll tell you the answer. As far as Queen Elizabeth was aware, Anne was the sole member of the royal family who refrained from pursuing fame and fortune. Her relationship with her mother was quite close, and she was a devoted royal child. This further establishes that she was Queen Elizabeth's only obvious choice and the selected one to express her secret thoughts before her death. It was likely Princess Anne who realized the royal family had no future if they continued in their current state, disrupting the planned tranquility of the Balmoral summit. It was clearly her belief that they needed to sit upright under the tutelage of the most gifted queen England has ever had. When it comes to the monarchy, would it bring about changes and make everyone see things clearly? Who can say for sure? Only time will tell. We have something important to tell you, but from Princess Anne's perspective, all of this sounds great. Some have speculated that Princess Anne's animosity for Camilla is the driving force behind her actions, which is a major concern. Why is everyone so hateful? Quite unexpectedly, it's not just that Queen Camilla had an affair with her brother, King Charles, which led to his divorce from Princess Diana. There's something else as well. People often overlook one crucial detail: Princess Anne was romantically involved with another princess. In late 1970, with Andrew Parker, Camilla's ex-husband. Nonetheless, Andrew wed Camilla later in 1973. They broke up later on, but they stayed good friends. Maybe Anne's present behavior is driven by these unresolved feelings of love. This is merely an argument put out by one group. The other group finds this whole thing absurd since they, too, have grown up. And by the time Camilla wed Charles in 2005, Anne was already a highly esteemed member of the royal family, who carried out her responsibilities with impeccable grace and was a favorite of the late Queen. Despite the fact that Anne was behaving suspiciously and attempting to avoid her new sister-in-law on the day of the wedding, these people believe that she transformed and became more professional. So, which demographic is correct? Instead of dragging this out any longer, we'll just tell you which side of the argument is right. The Queen's daughter Camilla is unpopular with Princess Anne. At a private supper, Anne went up to Camilla and said, "You're not the Queen, you are the Queen Consort." This made her position very clear. Although it may appear insignificant to the general public, this was actually a proclamation of war to the invaders. Due to Anne's influence, Camilla now knows that she is not her mother's rightful heir, but rather the conventional queen's second in line, and that she will never equal her mother's accomplishments. When a senior member of the royal family, Princess Anne, refuses to acknowledge Camilla as the legitimate queen, it sends a strong message that a large portion of the monarchy does not support Camilla. In an interview, Anne made her feelings about Camilla's potential as a queen very apparent. Even more shocking to Camilla was this fact. Ultimately, Anne is a genuine royal, but Camilla is only an outsider, therefore there's nothing Camilla can do. The fundamental disagreement between the two women is that Anne thinks the British people will never truly love Camilla. Aside from Anne, it's everyone. It is believed by a large number of royal circles. So, what transpired at the summit of Balmoral, and what did Catherine's will contain? To sum up, Catherine was invited by Queen Elizabeth to assume her position. The Queen of England wanted the Princess of Wales to step in for her because of how much faith she had in her. She clearly had no interest in her becoming queen. That is, for the time being. Catherine intended to continue the role of family stabilizer that the late queen had played. The trust Queen Elizabeth had in Catherine was evident, as was her disappointment with the monarchy's fragility, particularly under King Charles's rule. The most pressing issue is the perpetual instability of Camilla's status within the British royal family. Unlike other royals, her birthright has nothing to do with her official position as queen, rather, it is her marriage to Prince Charles that gives her that title. Charity work addressing domestic abuse and literacy has helped Camilla immensely in improving her public image, but the nightmares still follow her everywhere she goes. It doesn't matter how much she tries, she must acknowledge that she was the one responsible for the breakup of Diana and Charles's lovely romance. The only way for her to escape being associated with the other lady in that affair is to accept that and move on. She can win over the general populace in this way, but the royal family will be a different story. No amount of escalating tension between Princess Anne and Camilla can be sustained in this manner. Because Anne has consistently shown reverence for the royal traditions. Therefore, the likelihood that someone of her caliber will ever acknowledge Camilla's place in the royal hierarchy is extremely low. Because they serve as a reminder that certain members of her family still do not accept her and see her as an outsider, Camilla feels pressured to prove herself worthy of their favor. It would have been much easier for Camilla if she had continued to work on improving her reputation by positive and honest actions, but she took a quick cut that quickly backfired. In her memoir, Prince Harry accuses Camilla of trying to use him to improve her public image, but she was swift to deny the accusation. The news quickly circulated, and the public once again hated her for belittling her royal responsibilities. Contrarily, Princess Catherine is an example of a contemporary royal success story. Catherine Middleton, now known as Princess Catherine, came into this world in Reading, England on January 9, 1982. Being raised in a middle-class environment makes her feel like an odd job amid the royal family. Because of her parents, Michael and Carol, who were somewhat successful in the party piece business, Catherine and her family enjoyed a comfortable and supportive life. This particular quality of hers helped to establish ideals of humility and honesty. She attended highly esteemed institutions like Marlborough College and went on to study art history at Scotland's St Andrews University as a result of her strong academic performance and athletic prowess. She finally had the opportunity to meet her Prince Charming, Prince William, in 2001 at St Andrews. Their love story may have blossomed in this idyllic setting. People had the ideal storyline thanks to this, but it's not like they were really struggling. They broke up in 2004 after dating for a while. They realized they were the best option because they were each other's equals. They were married on April 29, 2011, after becoming engaged in November 2010. The ceremony took place at Westminster Abbey. The title of Duchess of Cambridge was bestowed upon her. And she quickly became the beloved British princess by her admirers. She was an outspoken supporter of children's rights, early childhood development, and addiction, and she possessed an innate charisma that drew others to her. Her causes included mental health. She established the Center for Early Childhood in 2021 and demonstrated her dedication to long-term objectives. She was that brilliant. With the help of others around her, including Princes William and Harry, she was able to dispel many myths and misconceptions regarding mental health and bring attention to the critical need to end the stigma. It's remarkable that someone so young in royal life could have such an impact on the younger generation, so she aimed to lay a youthful, solid foundation for what was to come. The ease with which she juggles her roles as queen, wife, and mother has earned her the admiration of her subjects, who look up to her as a superwoman. Her 3 children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, are the pride of her life. This woman's ability to juggle so many responsibilities is a lesson that should be taught in classrooms. She is always making sure to visit the public and engage with kids. Her dependable and friendly demeanor makes her an ideal choice to succeed her mother as queen. All of this was going place while Catherine was only the Duchess of Cambridge, but in September of 2022, the terrible news arrived that Queen Elizabeth II had died. Many things began with this. Inside the realm of royalty that may have been detrimental. The only bright spot was the advancement of William and Catherine, but now that Camilla has been coronated queen, everyone is comparing the two due to their obvious differences, despite the fact that neither of them comes from a royal family. Their journeys have diverged substantially. On the one hand, we have Catherine, who has embraced her new life to the letter. Camilla, meantime, is still battling her need for constant attention. Apparently, nobody ever lets Catherine be alone. The accusation that she has been an exemplary royal because she has never had to deal with problems is baseless, but they go to extreme lengths to make it sound that way. A lot of people would have died from the hardships she has endured. As an example, the palace reported that Catherine needed stomach surgery in January of 2024. The most recent test results showed that she had cancer, which was a huge shock because they hadn't given it any thought before. Because this was her first experience with the effects of public pressure in a crisis, it only made matters worse for her. Adapting swiftly, she declared her intention to publicly address the matter, reassuring those outside the royal family that they had nothing to be scared of. Catherine chose to remain out of the spotlight after her surgery so she could concentrate on getting well. However, in June of 2024, she made a triumphant return to the public eye by attending the Trooping the Color ceremony, where she received an incredible amount of support. At last, in September, she announced the end of her treatment with an emotional video that she had posted online to reassure everyone. The public learnt about her private life for the first time, and they saw an emotional moment between her and her children, which endeared her to them and confirmed their desire for her as queen. In the well that and had previously mentioned at the Balmoral summit, there was a note that made it plain that Queen Elizabeth intended Catherine to play the role of stabilizer so that she could exert her influence and rally around the future reign of William. This meant that Elizabeth herself had recognized Catherine as the rightful successor to her father, William, as head of state. The fact that the late queen was so difficult to get a handle on is the most bizarre thing. When she witnessed Catherine's warmth, affection, and skill with people, she respected her more than anyone else. Regarding the individuals she considered, Princess Diana's former attributes were warmly reflected for the late monarch. The gift of the family heritage necklace and earrings to Catherine from Queen Elizabeth was a token of her esteem. This symbolic gift from Queen Elizabeth showed her confidence in Catherine as her future consort by presenting her with a pair of priceless, historically significant necklaces and earrings. This decision sent a message that shook many people, particularly the current queen consort, and everyone realized that Catherine is not someone to be trifled with. Unfortunately, not everyone has Catherine's good fortune and level of commitment. Camilla, who was despised by everyone, committed the worst error of judgment when she betrayed Catherine. For the most part, her suspicions about Catherine stemmed from her history, which she saw as potentially tarnishing her public image. There was no way Camilla could have been appreciated in a high-profile and traditionally bound household like the royal family if she had acknowledged her profound insecurity. However, her fears were well-founded. There is no denying that Catherine has been more prominent than Camilla. People look up to Catherine more than they do to Camilla, who will never be considered a queen. Considering Camilla is the legitimate heir to that position, you may be asking why the late queen named Catherine as the next supporting figure in her will. It's because Camilla is so self-absorbed in her thinking and actions. The late queen could see through her narcissism and self-centeredness. However, working with the late queen, Catherine had many ideas and plans for the royal family. She thought the monarchy should be less static and more dynamic, and she admired Catherine's ability to think outside the box and implement novel approaches to strengthening the royal family. What does this portend for Camilla's future, then? Is she going to maintain her envious and unpleasant demeanor towards Catherine? Alternately, will she ever make up for what she has done wrong to Catherine, such as excluding her family from the coronation? Even though she extended an invitation to every member of her family, she let just a select few attend the wedding from Catherine's side. So, what's the next step? Pick the victor. This day's queen or tomorrow's queen?